Hi, I'm Dr. Rudy Cashman. Thanks for watching the show. As you know, I've done many of these in the past. You go to cashmanhealth.com. You can pull up 120 or so previous TV shows. And the reason I recommend that, I cover so many subjects for you to stop, prevent, reverse most illnesses that occur. 90% of the people that go to the hospital are there because of they're not watching what's on their fingers, their forks, or how they're using their feet. So what does that smell of? Opportunity to get you well. So thanks for participating with us and spreading the word around maybe the whole community through books and CDs, CD-ROMs, TV. If you have any ideas, please bring them to me, because I like to learn. I like to learn myself, and I do every day. I do a tremendous amount of reading. Today's show is a little bit, what I'm teaching, for example, on how to prevent, stop, reverse diabetes or most health problems, cancer, heart attacks, strokes, dementia, is through proper eating. And this is where we concentrate on today, the type of food. And I have in front of me a wonderful library of books that I've read, and I'm going to recommend to you. What I'm really speaking about, I want you to, maybe 80% of the time, eat foods, many vegetables and fruits that full of vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, because they run the machinery of your body, and they are so water dense, so fiber dense, that they eat up a lot of energy. If you eat 1,000 calories of them, for example, 500 of those calories probably won't enter your body. So is weight loss tough? No. And eat all you want of these, because the nutrients in these will turn your appetite off. That's all over Dr. Fuhrman's famous books. Most of us don't know how to cook, so I've been running some cooking suggestions of this half-hour show. And I'd like you to show you a book here by Jennifer Kornblit. Jennifer Kornblit, and she runs a TV shows, LA or Chicago or somewhere. I'm not seeing her locally, but she has this book that you can get with illustrations, and I have a DVD at home. I've watched it 2 or 3 times now, and with a cat on one shoulder and a cat on the other. They like to watch the show too. And she teaches you how to run a kitchen, and I'm firmly convinced if you watch that, and suppose you have pre-diabetes or diabetes, or you're a bit overweight, you're trying to get healthy, you got heart disease, she'll teach you how to run the kitchen. And if you did this for 30 days, you'd have probably no diabetes in the 30 days, 90% of the time. And if you have had a heart attack or a stroke, you could avoid most problems in the future if you continue to do this in some form. Doesn't have to be 100%, say 80%. And she'll speak a great deal, too, about using a blender and a juicer and a food processor, things you need to learn to do, and how to prepare the kitchen, the utensils you need, the type of knife that you need, for example. But really, it's raw food made easy, because raw food doesn't have the hormones and the chemicals in them. It doesn't have cholesterol in them, for example, and the sugars are pretty low, hidden in fiber, so you're not really eating a lot of sugary foods. So I think it's a great way to detox from sugar. Most of us are addicted to sugar. We have a sugar nation. The latest book just hit Amazon yesterday of mine. It's called The New Slavery. You can get it on Amazon now. What am I saying? We're addicted to sugar. We're a slave to it. It's 40 to 80% more addictive, 4 to 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Yeah, well, I have good health habits, but if I come home late at night and there's a donut laying there, which I don't allow in the house, but sometimes it makes its way in there, believe me, I'd be eating it, okay? So hers is a good book to read. And she'll speak about types of blenders in there a little bit. You can go to some of these businesses, and they have a good collection. A very good book that I read too is it's written for specifically the NutriBullet, and that's one of the cheaper type blenders you can get. You know, you put in you know, maybe a third vegetables and the rest some stone type fruits, for example, some nuts and some seeds. And you can quickly blend them and for example, put it in a plastic container and drink it on their way to work. They're very handy. I have a good friend of mine that frankly is living off the NutriBullet for breakfast. I mean, some of these are better than others, okay? Like a Vitamix machine probably is the most powerful of all. But the Nutritech machine has been put out, and the salesman, I noticed at this place I was looking at them, he recommended the Nutritech. That's he found to be extremely powerful. But you, like in the Vitamix machine, in the Nutritech machine, you can make soups, hot soups. Yeah, so to get good at using it, it can be done quickly. And once you get good at it, you can take some of these to work with you, for example. Some people carry a little container, semi-refrigerated thing they keep in their car. Don't turn your car into the kitchen like I have on occasion, okay? But you can make some of the things at home, carry it there, and eat lunch out of this container at work. You know, a lot of people go out with someone at work and they're eating out all the time. I talked to a big-time business owner yesterday. He was eating out twice a day. Well, how healthy do you think you can remain if you're eating out twice a day over time? You're going to gain weight and be very unhealthy and probably get diabetes. So I suggest strongly to fix some of these meals at home, or before you go out to work with the group. A big dinner, you have to attend a business meeting, for example. If you were to fix yourself something through Vitamix or the Tech machine or a Ninja, for example. Vitamix is a little more expensive, Nutritech a little more expensive than, say, a Ninja, for example. But they have many different forms, and you have to become informed a little bit which one to use. But if you just develop the habit of using them, you're going to be healthy. You're going to be healthy. Some are just a little better than others. And if you're diabetic, for example, juicing is, I'd rather have you do smoothies, because juicing could increase your blood sugar quickly. But if you want to get a lot of these phytochemicals that make you healthy, see what these machines do is break down the cell walls, the cellulose, the cell walls to release all the nutrients, the phytochemicals, 25,000 phytochemicals, the vitamins and the minerals, 13 vitamins and 23 minerals, releases them for your absorption in your gut. So you can see why I recommend it. You're going to be a lot healthier. You do this on a regular basis, because many of us are eating white rice, mashed potatoes, steaks, and you think that's going to lead to good health. Where are the nutrients? Where are the nutrients? They don't have nutrients. They've been stripped of their nutrients. Okay, but this is the way to get nutrients in your life. And there's a NutriBullet book which they put out. I highly recommend, because it really discusses very well the nutrient way of living. Yeah, the nutrient way, and it's a cheap book. And what they're saying, I'll just review it with you a little bit. That if you use the NutriBullet, you extract your nutrients. I don't work for any of these companies, so I'm just saying this as a good way to eat. And it's saying to eat whole foods. So whole foods are unprocessed food. When we process foods, we take off the bran, the fiber, and the germ, and that's got all the vitamins, the minerals, the good stuff. And all you're eating is the sugar in there, the endosperm. So this, that's a whole food, unprocessed food. Processed food leads to bad health. So, and then she speaks about combining your foods a bit. You know, you want to combine some vegetables with some fruit, for example. Jean Goodell, the famous anthropologist, naturalist, she speaks about she's seen chimpanzees will pick a fruit and then put it in a vegetable leaf and then eat it. Yeah, that sounds familiar? It affects the taste. So if you just use the kale and didn't combine with something, it may not taste very good. But you combine it with some food example, it may be very tasty. So, and these books are full of recipes on good juices and good smoothies. I mean, you can combine them forever. I wouldn't combine more than 3 or so, and include some vegetables for that smoothie. But you'll pick your favorite one. You'll pick your favorite one, and so. In what Kornblit will recommend is to eat half raw at all meals. Well, that's an interesting habit. Yeah, you know, eat half raw. Dr. Furman would say that too. Half your food every day, a pound of raw food, a pound of. I mean, I think that's reasonable. So, she speaks about tips and tricks. Be prepared. Make a mistake here and there, but learn from it. Be a little flexible. Drink water, okay? Write it down. Keep notes. I think that's important. Clean out your cupboards, for example, and get the bad food out of there. If it's not in there, you're not going to have it. And have something ready for a snack. And don't shop while you're hungry. If you're hungry, I've done it myself. You know, I mean, I'm quite resistant as to what bad food is, but I have a very stressful day of surgery or something. And I go back to the doctor's lounge, although I pretty well cleaned it up. I know the nutritionist there at the hospital, she really cleaned it up pretty good, but there's still some nasty stuff in there. If I have a stressful day, I grab some nasty stuff. That donut I normally wouldn't touch. So shop when you're feeling pretty good. And be prepared. Learn to cook. Take a class. Watch maybe some DVDs or some cooking shows. But you got to be careful what you watch. And I've contributed some money to a TV station, actually, a public access television, not access, but PBS, and they have a cooking show, but some of the stuff they're cooking isn't too healthy. Then the other part is they're cooking very healthy. So you got to, you know, be open-minded, understand, and know what you're watching on these cooking shows. I remember being in Savannah, you know, in a restaurant by a famous lady who ran a cooking show, and it was the most unhealthiest food. It was the most unhealthiest restaurant. I had never heard of her, and the nurses knew immediately who I was speaking about. So you got to pay attention to who you're watching. But these books I recommended you are just great. And you don't have to learn 1,000 recipes, but get used to them, okay? And some of these, like in the NutriBullet, you can blast to increase your immunity. Carrots, bell peppers, dark green, sunflower seeds. Seeds have so much nutrient in it, they increase the absorbability of nutrients over 10 times. Remember, you're breaking down the cellulose and releasing all the great enzymes if you put some nuts and seeds and vegetables and fruits in these machines. And you'll be a lot healthier and preventing a lot of illness. So I recommend the NutriBullet. And the Vitamix machine, they also run a good book. And there's a story in there about the founder of it, a gentleman named Bernard. And I still wonder if Neil Bernard, the head of the Vegan Society and the Nation Physicians, isn't a son of his. I just kind of wonder. This man had it in his heart. I met another son of his, son-in-law, and maybe the daughter at a convention with John Mackey, head of Whole Foods, in Aspen recently, and in fact, he gave me a card that anybody needed a Vitamix machine and they couldn't afford it, that she'd get a lot cheaper. That was kind of interesting. I've taken advantage of that a few times. But he wanted to make people healthy. And this machine is, you almost don't have to know how to cook. I mean, you can turn the oven off and you use a Vitamix machine. You can make soups. You can blend. You can make almost anything out of it. Breakfast mixes, granola, and the whole book is full of great recipes, including even desserts. Let me just read a few things to you. Quinoa black bean burgers, stuffed chard leaves with olive vinaigrette, spicy jerk chicken, herb marinated pork tenderloin. So even some meats, I don't recommend a lot of animal meats, but there are some recipes in there that can help make it, I can make it healthy. I tell you another book so it's a good book to read, and I like the machine. It's extremely powerful, maybe slightly expensive, but you can do juicing and blending and soups, hot soups in there in minutes. In minutes, it just would be great. Another book I really like is Martha Stewart, Clean Slate. Very good book. The first 50 pages tell you all about how to juice, how to do smoothies. Tells you about nutrition, what are whole grains, and types of whole grains. She'll speak about barley. Kamut is interesting. It's related to drum wheat. Many people who are gluten intolerant can eat it. This ancient grain otherwise is an excellent source of protein, vitamins, and minerals. So Kamut, and she goes through all the grains and explains them: bulgur, quinoa, spelt, brown rice, buckwheat, wheat berries, amaranth, and describes in some detail. And then she shows you how to cook them, the cooking times for examples. Talks about the health benefits of legumes, beans, for example, lentils and peas. Split peas, for example, I guess they take off the covering, then split it to make it easier to eat them and cook them. That was kind of interesting. I know I eat some edamames because they're full of protein regularly. Some soy type products, and some pastas. Okay, some whole grain pastas. Made from whole wheat, spelt, farro, kamut. It offers some fiber, nutrients, proteins. So many pastas are so sugary, if you're diabetic, you wouldn't want to bother with it. But some whole grain pastas, you got to use your glucose meter and see how much to increase your glucose. But what I really like about it, too, is I could turn to almost to any recipe and find it healthy. Here's beet, avocado, arugula salad, sunflower seeds. Is that healthy? I mean, yeah, that's healthy. And then the beautiful, beautiful picture of it. The whole book's like that. I highly recommend it. Here, roasted squash with grains, grapes, and sage. Give me a break. Buckwheat noodles, bok choy, sweet potatoes, miso, lime broth. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, an endocrinologist agreed with me that if we could, I wish he hadn't said it with our wives present, who are excellent cooks. Both of them are excellent cooks, but he said it to me: if we could hire a chef the rest of our life, cook us one meal a day out of this book, would you do it? I'm telling you, see what he meant? He was endorsing it. He did the Page test too, which I tell people, and here's North African chicken chickpea stew. How about that? Red lentil soup with turnips and parsley. You get my point? Shiitake mushrooms and brown rice and parchment. You get it? See what I'm talking about? Seared halibut tacos with grapefruit avocado salsa. I mean, I have nothing to do with the editors or anything with Martha Stewart, who published this book, but I tell you, I recommend it. You want to be healthy? Eat only out of this. It has breakfast, lunches, dinners, and desserts, and juicing out of here, and use these machines that I recommend, these tech machines. You're going to be a very healthy person. So that's sort of interesting. I have with me, too, some of Dr. Furman's book. He wrote, Eat to Live, End of Diabetes, End of Disease, a friend of mine. But I tell you, he's got his finger on the pulse. Him and Dean Ornish and Esselstyn are the ones that every medical student should be reading and know about. I rarely speak to a medical student, even heard of them. hard to understand, because that's where health is located, to read those fellas. Oh, yeah, yeah. Furman, Esselstyn, Mark Hyman, wonderful books to read. So, and what Dr. Furman does, he has a nutritarian handbook, a nutrient way of eating, and he uses the Andy scores. If you go to Whole Foods grocery store, unfortunately we don't have one around here, but Chicago and New York's got 10. The aggregate nutrient density index, what he's done is scored most foods and look at the amount of nutrients they get, how many vitamins they get, the minerals they got, the amount of phytochemicals that they have, and gives them a score. Kale's got 1,000, white bread got 10. And if you go to a Whole Foods store, they'll label like that. If you go to Myers here, I think it's the one, they now have the scoring system of Dr. David Katz, biggest public health official in the nation. I think it's called NuVal, or I think something like that. And 0 to 100, they'll have a number on the food. I think a good way to find out, you know, what a nutrient-dense food is, for example. And the more nutrients there are, the healthier that you're going to be. His little book here, Dr. Furman's book, you can probably get it at any bookstore or through the internet. His website, Joel Furman, is excellent website. Dr. Mark Hyman, excellent website. You could find out about the nutrient density of food. Remember, Furman says health equals nutrients divided by calories. Health equals nutrients divided by calories. So this is an excellent way to get rid of most chronic disease. You'd live to be 100 unless you fell out on an airplane. and this is a very healthy way and it's great to read his work. The last 2 times Dr. Furman visited me, I beat him in tennis twice in a row. And he was an Olympic athlete in skating. Okay, I'm sort of proud of that. Here's by Jason Manaheim, Superfoods, Juices, Smoothies, and Drinks. I think it's also an excellent book for you to read. And the recipes in there are very good. And you can determine yourself what are the best juices you like. He has got honey tea, for example, Green Glow. He's talking about a smoothie, a cup of mint, 2 cups of spinach, 3 cups of pineapple, and an apple. He calls this Green Glow, and you can see a color in a green glass. Wouldn't that make you feel good? How healthy that is? You know, it's a smoothie, and you can be quickly made, and very healthy. And remember, if you're a diabetic, you have to check your blood sugar, make sure that this works for you. Kiwi melon is another one. He has all. So he has juices and smoothies. Autumn Boost. This is the autumn, isn't it? Organic unsweetened pumpkin puree, overripe pear, ackee powder, flaxseed, dried mulberries, coconut water, 1 cup of ice. I mean, that'd be a boost in nutrients. And then he has soups in there, soups to goji, and tomatoes, parsley, cilantro, garlic. I mean, very healthy things. Green almond, organic kale, banana, almond butter, water, almond ice. I mean, how healthy can it get? And to read some of these books and develop a way. So you think healthy, good food is not delicious? Baloney. It's much more delicious than the junk most of us are eating, versus ordering, X chicken nuggets with 39 ingredients where they add a spray to make it taste like chicken. Give me a break. This is so much healthier and so much actually cheaper in the long run. If you cut up their own vegetables yourself, you're buying them in bulk or in season or frozen or keep them in your freezer, they'd be a lot cheaper. Here's an excellent book, too. I was reading Vegetarian, 100 Everyday Recipes, and the author's name is covered up by the price tag. But I will show you the cover, and published 2013, by Paragon. Okay, here it is. And it's not much explanation there, but the recipes are out of this world. We'll try the test here. A potato fontina rosemary tart, spice risotto cakes. Thigh bean curd cakes with chili dip, vegetable and hazelnut loaf. I mean, so we have some variety. Yeah, so we have some choices. Kidney bean risotto, about how to stay healthy. But again, if you have some risotto, get your glucosamine out and see if you're diabetic, well, you'll tolerate the better rice that's in there. But here's a sweet potato, mint, and feta patties. So there's great variety in healthy cooking, and get a little collection of these. But like I said, if you chronically read Raw Foods, the NutriBullet book, Clean Slate, looked at Dr. Furman's stuff, you would be extremely informed and probably be very healthy individual. And there's some additional books, the Rainbow Juice Cleanse here, Lose Weight, Boost Energy, Supercharge Your Health, a good book. A lot of these healthy juices that are blended, if you're not diabetic, for example, they can boost your energy because sugar's going up a bit, okay? But you got to watch it if you're diabetic. But you'll get an energy boost. There's certain smoothies that'll give you energy boost on the way to work, and they like spinach and the sea soup and minty cucumber soup. These are all also very healthy. So I think to learn some basic juicing, this combination of raw foods that you can make quickly. My friend, I have a friend who's a race car driver from Boston and Virginia, from Boston, Virginia. He uses this NutriBullet all the time. Yeah, he uses NutriBullet all the time. That's his breakfast. But any of these would do. But you have to use, what works for you. So let's summarize this. Where am I coming from? I'm coming from avoiding 90% of our chronic illnesses. Dr. David Katz said in his book called Disease Proof that 83% of type 2 diabetes, 93% of type 2 diabetes, 80% of advanced disease, 60% of cancer are totally avoidable by watching what we put on our fingers, how we use our fingers, what we put on our forks, and how we use our feet, and what we're putting in our forks, what we're eating. So if you're eating 80% vegetable or fruit diet and 20% if you got to eat some animal products, at least eat organic wise, and eat all you want. Some nuts and seeds, and learn to enjoy beans. Beans are diabetics' friends, incidentally. You can be very healthy. Weight loss will be simple. Then improve your activity of living a bit. Find out what you like to do. Maybe you like to dance, or maybe you like to walk. Maybe you like to jog, maybe a stationary bike. Do some mild weightlifting. For every pound of muscle you got, that burns 50 calories a day without you using it, okay? I frankly do all of those things because I've got a little more time now. But thanks for watching our show. And go to CashmanHealth.com. Go to Amazon Books. I got about 20 books on there. One coming out on sitting disease in 6 weeks. One came out yesterday called The New Slavery. It's about sugar. So thanks for watching our show. We love you. And this will be in public access. We'll teach you more about the type of food and cooking and how to get healthy. I get you well. I'll add 20 years to your life, where you're not with a walker and a wheelchair. We can all avoid that. Do it. We love you all, and I thank you very much. Have a nice Thanksgiving and a great holiday. And if you see me, give me a hug. You can ask me a question or hand me a book to read. Believe me, I'll appreciate either one. I love you.